Hello, viewers. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Depends on where you are watching us from. And this wonderful moment, we'll be talking about so insensitive, let me say, discussion that will bring us so far, most especially in our individual lives. We'll have a lot to talk about. And not just me alone this time around, I have by my left hand side and also by my right hand side, I have Sir John Beloved. Sir John Beloved, welcome to the show this afternoon.
Thank you so much.
God bless you. And I have at my right hand side, I have Pastor Dave.
Thank you, sir.
Welcome to this wonderful show. Let's say we'll say it's an evening show. Okay, before we go straight to that, I am Pastor Sam Onyebuchi Nweze. So this moment we'll be talking more specially on singleness and marriage. I think singleness and marriage this time around, because so many of us has been having a lot of heartbreaks when it comes to singleness, when it comes to relationship, when it comes to marriage. Because if we start calling out people and say, let's bring us out and let's remarry, or let so many of us sign a divorce paper, or can we equally choose our spouse this time around, you will notice that so many of us will not even choose our spouse because of some trials and the rest of them. So this time around, we'll be talking on singleness and marriage. And Sir John Beloved, as I said before, welcome to this show.
Thank you so much.
So what do you have to tell the world about this singleness and marriage this time around?
Oh, thank you so much. Our viewer, we thank you so much for watching us anywhere you are watching us from. I will start by the word singleness. Then before going into the word marriage. Singleness is the foundation and is the most important in human development. The most important thing in human development is singleness. Why I say so is that in the beginning, God started human relationship with a single person. So it's very important for you to understand your single self. And again, is that singleness is not about being alone. No, it's not what singleness is all about. I will tell you that singleness is a state where you are being pursued, not being avoided. And singleness is a building platform for you to cultivate who you are. You know, most people go into marriage for them to be single, but they don't know that they have to be single before going to marriage. I know that it will be confusing.
Okay.
It will be confusing because some people will be like, what am I saying? But if you go in the Bible, you see that in the beginning, God created them male and female, which means in the beginning, God created them being single. The word singleness is from the beginning. They were not couples. God did not begin human relationship with couples, with family. No, God started it with singleness, a single individual. So, singleness is very important in the life of every person, both man and woman, because it is an avenue for you to discover yourself. Singleness is a state where you develop yourself. It is a state where you tend to understand yourself. It is a situation where it is a state where you tend to accept yourself. Because if you accept who you are, and let me just say that, you ask yourself question, can I marry myself? Can I marry my character? So these are the questions you ask yourself in a single single moment of your life.
Of course.
So that you will not be like, I want to be married. But you yourself know that even if you are a spouse to yourself, that you cannot marry yourself. So it is a level where it is a state where you develop who you are. You cultivate yourself. So then it will now prompt you to what marriage is really all about. So I can just talk on singleness for now. Then maybe when times comes, I will now speak on marriage. Them now aligning singleness and marriage together. Thank you.
Wow, okay, viewers, yeah, we have said that singleness is simply knowing yourself. Now, asking yourself just a simple question, whether can you marry yourself? You know, that caught me. When you look into yourself, can you marry yourself? When you placed your character and you looked at it, can this guy or this young lady, marryable? If there's anyone like that, sir, am I marryable?
Yes.
So can I marry myself? If I am to be the next person, can I marry this person standing here? Because you've checked yourself and you looked and you weighed yourself in a balance and you can now see at oh boy, I not just get good character. Okay, now coming to the right hand side, Pastor Dave. There your singleness. This was singleness. Sir John Beloved have said, can I marry myself? So, what do you have to tell your viewers this time?
Oh, okay. All right. Welcome to this wonderful time, and I'm so excited. I'm part of this movement. All right. So this morning, this afternoon, depending on where you're watching us from, I think that this word, singleness of a teen, for me, I don't really. I have many things to say, but I just think that this singleness of a thing is something of you and yourself alone. Because when you talk about singleness, it's not really, when somebody is single, it's not really that the person is not married.
Yeah.
I have that belief. Singleness. There are people that like what is
opposite of single. Is they married?
Actually in marriage, but they are single.
Yeah.
You understand? So, but whenever you talk about singleness, it's actually, I believe that it's actually a time where you are not compatible with somebody. You can compatible with things. You can compatible with your business, but you're actually not compatible with somebody. Like there's no attachment to your flesh. Do you get? Not really saying that you don't have your families, your loved ones, but at this stage, it's a kind of stage that you plan yourself for yourself. Okay. You take your decision for yourself. You understand? This time it's not all about, okay, let's talk on this thing. I have someone to share my vision with. Okay, come, what do you think I do here? Though in the aspect of mentorship, those ones can come in, but there are some decisions that are taken by yourself, and at that stage, is actually, I call it a capacity building stage.
Yeah.
Do you get? Yes, I call it capacity building because the time you are single is actually, I believe that, I do tell people when sometimes when we talk, when we discuss like this, I tell them that singleness is actually a moment where you plan for your life. You don't really need a partner to plan for your life. Your life should be already orchestrated and planned before even someone comes in. Do you get? So I think with our time and everything, I think I'll have to stop here for now because of the singleness of. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, getting a plan for yourself. The right person can equally come.
Yes.
When you have something so positive and mindful for your future. Like I will always say, if you're waiting for marriage to bring you out from, then you are a lazy person.
That's right.
You are a lazy person.
But that's true.
You are just. Okay, all right, viewers, as you're watching, please don't fail to subscribe and like and comment so positively. Now, apart from this, it's singleness now. Marriage at an instituted by God. You know, it's an unfinished university. That I equally believe that when you got the certificate is when death do you apart.
Yeah.
Because in marriage, you keep on learning every day. As long as you are in marriage, I see you now focused and looking at me at this moment. Whenever you graduate in marriage, it's when your spouse is dead. I think that's the certificate now. That is the certificate. So what do you have to tell people that are in marriage?
The truth is that I tend to delve into singleness and explain what singleness
Is all about.
is all about. That's why I didn't go into it. But I will first of all to make a very vital point. What marriage? Marriage is an institution established by God. Any establishment has a principle.
Okay.
And an establisher has a manual through which that should go. Anybody that created something has already have the manual through which you operate. You are not operating on other system. You should be operating on the system of the establisher.
Oh.
So marriage is an institution established by God. It's not by man. It's not by government. So government has no right to disqualify your marriage.
Yeah, okay.
That's the number one thing. And marriage is an institution whereby, okay, for instance, when Paul was talking about what marriage is all about, he was telling the church that it's better that you are single.
And to be single and married.
He said that it's better that you are single, that you do not marry, than for you to marry. But he was giving an advice. This is an advice. It's not God's words, though. He's not trying to say God said. He was trying to advise people, say that, how I wish it would be very important for you to be like me. But he did something, he said again. But due to your locks, it's better that you get married. Because he knows there is a trouble in marriage.
Yeah.
Even if you read, is it in 2 Corinthians, when he was outlining what marriage is all about, he does a place, if you read it with TPT version of Bible, there is a place you read, it will tell you that for you to avoid the problems in marriage, do you understand? So that means you choose to have problem by yourself by getting married. But that's not what it is. The reason why there might be problem in it is because men have gone from what the establisher have said what marriage is all about. See, he made it clear. He said that, man, love thy wife as Christ loved the church. And he said to woman, respect and submit to your husband. And for me to tell you, if you are going into marriage, for the men, you have to love your wife as Christ loved the church. Now, let me not tell you something. The church Christ loved, they were full of sin. They were full of faulties. They were full of trouble. They were full of sin. But when Christ came, he started nurturing his wife. Yeah. He started bringing out the best that is in his wife. He did not come to meet a perfect wife, which is his church. The church was blemish. The church was problematic. So he's not going to the marriage not knowing that the church is a sinful place, yeah, as who he wants to marry. He came to nurture, to bring out the best in his wife. So as a man that is going to marry, you are not going to marry a perfect person. You are going to marry to bring out the perfect woman that you want. There's a saying that says that perfect woman that is in your head is not in existence. And is not in existence. Yeah. You have to create that perfect woman that is in your system. Then to woman, if you want to marry a man, you must be submissive as man is to Christ. And what is submissiveness? You know, the word submissiveness means learning. See, a student submits to his teacher. Wow. So if you don't want to submit, if you don't want to learn, please don't marry as a woman. That's it. That's my own saying. So it involves learning. A woman to his lifespan is meant to be learning from man. That's how it is. So that for you to be perfect, for you to give a room for the man to nurture you. Because Christ nurtured the church, because the church gave him the room for him to nurture him. Yeah. So the word submissiveness means learning. And I will say this before I can drop here. If you cannot learn from a man, no matter how rich that man is, if you cannot learn from him, and if you watch yourself and this man cannot teach you, please don't marry the person. That's what I will say. If you can be able to see that this man cannot teach me, this man cannot cultivate me, this man cannot bring out the best in me, please don't marry the person. No matter how difficult or no matter how things you feel like he will do for you, please don't do it. Praise the Lord.
So you know this time around, you know, some women don't really go for knowledge. They're actually pissed off by what they are seeing. You know, some women goes for money, despite the fact that money is very good. Oh boy, money good though. You that is watching me now, money is good though. Money is good, very very important in marriage. But as we said, and as we are saying, you must be a teacher. You must be a teacher as the husband. Your wife must be learning from you, because they are just bound learning every day. Every time you see them, they're just distributing, one character or the other. As long as the earth remains, your wife will be bringing out characters that you've seen. Marriage is not see finish, oh. Pastor Dave.
No, yeah.
Marriage not be see finish.
Sure.
So in this aspect of marriage, will not be see finish now. So what do you have to say?
Okay. You know, we have actually, I think my boss has actually said a lot. Just that I understand this thing. In fact, I'm not that I've yet gotten everything, but from my own perspective, like what you just said, marriage is not see finish. The truth is that you can't marry
every day.
The truth is that you can't marry a man you know very well. You can, in fact, let me use this way: you cannot marry a man you can comprehend from A to Z. Because even God, even Jesus, being marrying the church by himself, already the church cannot know Jesus finish. If we as Christians, you know, all this knowing finish now is embedded in the place of familiarity. Let me just say, I know what you can do now, this thing. So if the church actually is familiar with God himself, it means that the place of God as the groom is no longer there. Do you get? There is now that familiarity that say, is it not God? That's why people enter church, they don't reference God.
Yeah.
Because they think that
not coming to
intimacy. Yeah, so they are now
that too close.
At that point they are now too familiar. They are now too familiar. So even in marriage, I'm just telling you, even in marriage, those kind of things do bring down, even do collapse marriages. Because you cannot tell me that you know this guy very well. I know him. And people, that was why one preacher, one man of God, said something. He said that you don't marry who you love.
Yeah.
He said you marry
Who you love.
and then you love. Yeah, I don't know if you understand. He said you don't marry who you love, which means you don't marry who you know. Let me use that word now. Let me replace that love and let me use the word you know. If I know you from A to Z, I should not marry you. Because that alone, we create room for, like he said, we create room to take off that submissiveness from that woman. Because if the woman knows you very well as a man, he's not my husband. You understand that impression? You just forget it. But if the woman sees you as that husband that God has already ordained you to be, like he said, she keeps learning. She keeps learning. Seeing you today, see, the truth is that husbands are supposed to be like the way God is in heaven.
Yeah.
Yes.
Even the Bible says that the angels, when they bow to look up again, they see another dimension of God. So it should be so in marriage that anytime a lady or a woman looks upon their husband, he's no longer seeing IK or the sweet names we do called sweetheart. That is a kind of dimension that your woman will see in you. She will be forced to change the name she calls you.
and it's very important
Sure.
because this is a point. In the level of being single as a man, that's when you cultivate this character.
Sure.
You see why singleness is very important.
Sure. In the life of a
capacity.
Because you cannot, they say that there's no man can clap with one hand.
Sure.
And you cannot give what you don't have.
Nobody gives what.
No. You see, when you are in a state of singleness, it's a way of preparation. Sure. Then as this thing you said now, let me come with a reference in Bible as in, they asked Jesus question, the Pharisees, is it lawful for a man
To put away his
to
wife.
put away his wife? There's one thing Jesus answered them. Jesus made a reference in the beginning. At the word, see, I've come to understand something, the word in the beginning. When somebody uses the word in the beginning for you, he's trying to tell you to go back to the menu. Yes, go back to the original plan of the creator. He said that in the beginning, he made them male and female, referencing what is already in the beginning, in Genesis. Before God gave Adam Eve, there was something happened. God said, it is not good for a man to be alone.
That's right.
But when man was alone, Adam was alone. Adam was busy cultivating.
Sure. Yeah. That's right.
There's one thing that God said to Adam when he created Adam. He said, Adam, there are 5 key things I will say now. First of all, God kept Adam in an Eden. Eden means a place. Eden means a spot, not a place. Eden means spot. Eden means presence of God. Eden means an open heaven for man and God. And Eden, there's another, and God said, man, walk. And after God said, man, walk, do you know what God did again? God gave man his word. For you to be a husband, you must have these 5 principles. You must be in the presence of God, which is your Eden. You must have a place that you connect with God. And you must walk. When walking,
that work is very important too.
When walking, you must have God's word. That God's word, Pastor Dave, that's where you bring out the you in you. Yeah. You understand? You bring out what your wife will be seeing every day as new. Yeah, definitely. Because you don't say a woman to see you new when you are already the old you all the time. So when you are in the presence of God, yes, there is always a new you. That's right. Say that in the presence of God is new every morning. Do you see this thing now? Yeah. There's one thing you say that caught my attention. You say that the wife should, as in the man, he ought to be like a God. So you have the nature of God. You have God. You have God's words. So that's what qualifies you to be a husband. You see, you must be in the. So that's I will have an advice to give a woman. When a man asks you out, there are some important questions you have to ask the man.
Some people are not just. Some people are just carried out by.
Pastor Dave, do you know one question that is very important that a woman should ask the man?
Sure.
In whose presence are you?
Very important, sir.
See,
in whose presence?
That's the first question you have. In whose presence are you?
That's right.
The second question is, can you cultivate me? You see, if you as a woman you don't ask these questions, as in you are just see one thing about money. When they say that as far as earth remaineth, seed time and harvest we never cease.
Sure.
And do you know one thing again? It's not of him that willeth, of him that runneth, but it's of him that showeth mercy. But make sure to ask your husband or the person that is asking you out, in whose vineyard are you walking? Are you walking really?
Okay. Viewers, don't forget to subscribe, and don't forget to like, and don't forget to comment, and don't forget to share. This time around, I think we've taken some of our times, and we've played an OT. You know, some people do call it OT. If you must be a husband, if you must be a husband, you must be, number one, a worker. You must be a cultivator. Because women, they cultivate them like, okay, carry your carry your hoe, carry your shovel, go cultivate. If you don't have the power to cultivate, I don't think it's high time for you to get married. But that is the simple truth. If you cannot cultivate, don't. And if you are not capable of being ahead of your wife, because you must, as Pastor Dave said, you must be like God. Now, you are the God.
Because
You are the God. So your wife needs to be seeing the new every year.
That's
So
right.
It's not about that I'm taking words from your mouth.
I
though.
understand, sir.
But see, as a man, and you want to have value in the sight of your wife, you must be a creator. You create your wife. That's why they say that perfect woman you are thinking in your head is not in existence.
Yeah.
So you are giving room to create who you want. And when you get a woman, you start molding the person to the way you want.
the woman.
And that's why, see, never you compare your marriage with other marriage.
Even the scripture
Because
says-
you people have two different creators. That's why you cannot align God with other gods. So as far as you cannot compare God to other God, you don't compare your husband to other person's husband.
Yeah.
Because he is molding you to his taste. That's why some people will be proud to say, this is my wife. As God said, this is my begotten son.
So,
This is my only. Aye.
Okay.
And that's proud. You must
Sure.
have as a good husband, and you have cultivated your wife. You will be proud to say, this is my wife in whom I am well pleased.
All right. Sorry. You know, I've been saying a lot all this while, and I think that one thing that also we help to, you know, when we are talking about this cultivating in your wife, like building value in your wife and all of those stuff. But I think that even the Bible makes it known to us that two can never work together unless they agree, and there is no agreement where there is no like peoples.
Like-minded.
Like minds people, like you are not in the same lane. There is no similar peoples around. So for instance, let me just use this. You cannot be a doctor and you now went and married, for instance, assuming you are a doctor now, you now went and married a farmer. Do you get? So there should be this people's driven something that is driving both of you, so that at every time the person will be so curious to know what you know. That's your wife, and you now the husband being ahead to both cultivating yourself, getting much value. Now, come to think of it, how do you now impact your wife if you are a pastor and your wife also is in line with ministry? You now discover that the more you know, the more your wife will want to know. Do you get? The more you, as you are becoming bigger, the woman is trying to know what made you to be there. So she will try at any point in time to come after you. Do you get? That's where you say that a man is actually influencer.
Yeah.
On his wife.
Men, they are always they have this attitude of
Influencing. That is right.
A woman cannot influence a man easily. Forget it. Sex no they influence man. No.
I'm telling you.
See, you can attract a man by beauty, by facial beauty.
I'm telling you.
But what to keep him this time around is not your facial beauty, it's what you have upstairs.
That value.
You know, see, in the line of God's words, it's very important that's why when I want to talk, I'm in line with the manual of the Creator. God did not call a woman a wife.
That is right.
Yeah.
Help me.
He called a woman a helpmate. That's God's word.
That's
he
right.
said a helpmate.
That's right.
And when you have a helpmate, you come in contact, allowing the person to help you. Because some of the issues that we're having is that some people we marry, but they don't want someone to help them. Do you understand? So they are bastardizing the Creator's manual.
Yeah.
So you must allow your wife to help you. And at the wrong that she is helping you, you have to, just for instance, you are an oga and you brought a servant. Your servant comes to help you. Then you are the one to teach your servant
Servants.
what
What
he or she,
needs
or
to
the line that he or she ought to follow. So at this point, he's learning from you. That's what help.
Yeah.
He's learning from you. So like we said, being of help and transferring yourself.
self. You are doing copy and paste.
That's why when I began, I said, can you marry yourself? This is when you bring out the you in
The
you
original
and
you.
you deposit it.
That's why.
Because let me tell you something. Like I said, you bring out the you in you and deposit it in your helpmate. That's what God did in the garden. Man was cultivating. Man was cultivating and weak, and God saw that the man was alone, and he said that, come, let us make a helpmate to a man. And man was sleeping, and God came in and took out something from a man and made a helpmate for Adam. So as a man, you have to mold out yourself. When you are single, you bring out yourself and transfer it into
Another
a
being.
man with a womb. That is called womb man.
Sure.
All right, viewers, I think we'll be drawing the curtain, and don't forget to subscribe, don't forget to like, don't forget to share, and don't forget to drop your comments. And I think by the reason of these great men around me, who will be able to answer all your questions. If you are having issues, you tell us your name, you tell us from where you are chatting us from, you tell us where you're sending your message from, and we will not hesitate to give you a perfect answer. But just take this, that man, you must do copy and paste. Let me just use that let me just use that simple word. You must just copy yourself and paste. If you are looking out to see the perfect woman, my brother, you no go see am. Forget it, you no go see am. You no go see am. All right, sir. What is your little advice to our viewers? So we'll draw it to a curtain.
Thank you, our viewers, for watching, and you people have already been of help, watching from us. Like our moderator said, please don't fail to like, subscribe to our page. But my advice is mostly for people that are single. Your state of singleness is a state of development. Your state of singleness is a state where you cultivate, where you work, where you be in a sport. That Eden, you should be in Eden when you are single, so that you will receive God's open heaven. You will be able to have God's word. So when you have God's words, when you have God's manual for marriage, your marriage will be sweet. And I'm telling the married ones, what I'm telling them is, you should, as you are married, you should try and go back to singleness. You should try and go back to singleness. So it's very important that you are married. Even self, they say that there's one word that I heard. He said that it is good for you to be single while you are married. When you are single, when you are married, you are opened for yourself to learn. You are open. That's what it means. When you are married and you have a driving spirit to be single, is for you to still be cultivating yourself, trying to mold yourself to be the good person you are. So my advice is, whether you are married or unmarried, please try and cultivate yourself so that the rate of divorce will
come down.
So that the rate of divorce will be minimal. So thank you, our viewers. Thank you, and thank you so much.
All right. To my right-hand side, Pastor Dave, what is your advice to our viewers on how they will run their single life and marriage life? So.
All right. Thank you very much. Thank you, the moderator. Thank you, everybody listening to us from everywhere. Okay. Like they have already said, subscribe. Do if you know, do no one see you. I don't mind me. All right. I think that my advice is this afternoon is basically for young people, because I don't really see the need for a young person to be aspiring for marriage when you know you had nothing.
Ah.
Having nothing, I'm saying now, is, don't misquote me, it's not really finance. Whenever I say having nothing, now the question
you don't have
is,
anything upstairs.
what do you have to offer to a man you want to have your, at your, let me just use the word custody, for the rest of his life? What do you have to offer? People mistake it, especially our young people. You see that marriage is more about sex, all those stuff, go around, cruise, your husband will not carry you, go to, those things are good. Those are the spices that makes up the thing. But the question is, outside these things, because I call them secondary reasons why people marry. Now, have you come to understand the primary reason for marriage? Like he said, it's more of helpmeet. If you cannot help the man, forget it. You have lost the man. You can be even living in the same house with the man, but it's not the husband.
Yeah.
So my own advice this afternoon is that, please, young people, don't be that thing of that euphoria of getting married should not be so much in your soul. Go and learn. A man of God talked to his church. He said, "Oh God, go and hide and learn." So you need to go as a young person. What do you have to offer to the table? You keep a wife in the house. Are you kidding me? You need to go and get some stuff. You need to have many things.
Sebi the wine
me. You need to go and get. See, if you are actually preparing for marriage as a young man, you should have not. It's true. You shouldn't have anything less than 2 or 3 sources of income.
Yeah.
That one is based on finance. So then 2, your knowledge, your capacities must be enlarged, because the ladies need to be learning every time.
Every day.
Because if it comes to a point that the lady is somehow tired and not grabbing anything, forget it, the person will start looking for value outside. So what you need is to get much value, accumulate the whole thing now you are still young, so that when she comes, she will now dive into an ocean, not a buta filled with water.
Yeah.
I don't even understand what I'm saying. She will dive into an ocean which she cannot swim finish. Till the rest of her life, she's getting knowledge, she's getting value every time. Do you get? And as young people, go and find something to do. Read books, follow people, build value. So your husband will not use you as what kind of. There's a kind of lady.
Like housewife.
Housewife now. There's a kind of lady you will be now.
Now you come born for this house.
You go born pikin tire.
Sure. Picking in the Philippines.
You get the kind of lady where you could be. Every time your husband will be. I don't understand. Your husband will go to work. He'll be fighting to come back and see you.
Yes.
Because every 2 minutes he spends with you is value. You have something to say. Now, can you hold a conversation with your husband? Can you hold a conversation? A positive one that you are bringing idea. I'm telling you that the man can just sit down like this. I'm looking at you.
I'll be listening something.
So you don't have such things. You just find. Just get good shape.
Beautiful face with an empty head.
Empty head. Whoa. There. No mind me. I'm just advising us. Go and build value. Enlarge your capacity. Marriage is more of exchanging of value. More. That's what I understand about. If anybody is saying another thing, my own is that I think that marriage, the center is value. Because there is a time it will get to love can diminish.
No, yes, sure.
Love can
is always
diminish.
on diminishing return.
All those things can diminish. What will keep you there and what will now make the man not to leave you for anything is what you always have to offer. Do you get? So thank you guys. I think I love you. Not even I think I love you guys. No man.
So at this point in time, we will be drawing the curtain, and don't forget to subscribe.
Please subscribe. Bro.
Subscribe.
I beg, subscribe. And don't still forget to share. And don't still forget to, drop your comments on how we can help you to build your marriage and also your single life. As we all have said, when your wife starts getting tired of you, oh boy, wait till you get packing short, don't finish. He don't finish. And I make sure they go outside, go find another person who get something to offer. If you have absolutely nothing as a man to offer to your wife, she will start looking outside. And you as a young lady, if you don't have absolutely nothing, no only sex now the offer, forget it. The man will just leave you. 5% sex, then they buy. Thank you, Sir John Beloved, for joining me in this wonderful conversation. And thank you, Pastor Dave. And I still remember your one and number one, Pastor Sam Onyebuchi Mweze. Wow. So thank you guys. We love you. And don't forget to subscribe, and don't forget to share, and don't forget to drop from all the parts of the world you are communicating us with. I love you. See you this time, next time, and it will not be far. See you. And now, before we come up again, it depends on your questions and it depends on your sharing and subscription. If you know you love us, just subscribe. We love you guys. God bless you.
Love you guys. Bye.